Is Nicholas Sexton, the defendant at the bar, guilty or not guilty of count 2, murder against Nicolle Lugdon, as either a principal or as an accomplice?
Guilty.
Is Nicholas Sexton guilty or not guilty of count 4, arson, as either principal or as an accomplice?
Guilty.
You also say that Randall Daluz is guilty of murder against Daniel Borders, guilty of count 2, murder against Nicolle Lugdon, guilty of count 3, murder against Lucas Toscano, and guilty of count 4, arson. So say you, Madam Foreperson?
Yes.
So say you all?
Yes.
Is there a polling request from Mr. Sexton?
What you did, you gotta get up on that stand line.
Daluz, please
Bring
be
us both
quiet.
down to something you did.
Is there a polling request from Mr. Sexton? Well, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to... A polling is where each member of the jury is asked.
Yes, we do.
So I'm going to just send you up just briefly, and I will find out whether this one gets...
Rise to the jury, please.
We are extremely distraught. He's maintained all along that this was Sexton's doing, that he didn't have any direct role in it, and it comes as no surprise that he had those comments, especially in light of the fact that I specifically challenged Mr. Sexton during the trial as to the fact that he'd been sitting there listening to the evidence come in, implicating him as the principal in this, and that by his testimony he saw his demise and he sought to bring Mr. Daluz down with him. Mr. Daluz does want us to pursue post-judgment relief. We will be filing a motion for a new trial. We will be appealing. We're very concerned about not only comments made by the Sexton attorneys in regards to Mr. Daluz having to explain himself, but also by the state in their rebuttal in terms of potentially shifting a burden onto Mr. Daluz, which is inappropriate as the defense never has any burden. We're also very concerned that the Sexton attorneys played a race card in this.
It's not what we expected. Nick is obviously upset, but I have the utmost respect for that jury panel, 50-plus hours. They seemed quite focused. He asked about retrying the other 2 counts, and the state will probably wait and see what he gets for a sentence on this round before they let us know whether they'll retry it. It's curious that the 1 count that he gets convicted of, the state has multiple confessions from Mr. Daluz that Mr. Daluz did it. So it was just a weird scenario. My guess, 35 to 50.
I'm pleased with the verdict. Obviously, the 2 hung, the counts on which there was 2 counts in which there was a hung jury is a bit disappointing. Having said that, I'm very grateful for the jury and their lengthy deliberation and their hard work. I can't imagine having been in that room for all of that time. So I'm really grateful for the hard work of the jury. A little disappointed on the hung jury, but it's a very complicated case. It's hard to get your arms around, and I think they did a fabulous job overall. The families are gracious, and they are pleased. Obviously, it's difficult that Mr. Sexton wasn't found guilty on the murders of Dan Borders and Lucas Toscano, but they are very grateful for the work of the jury.